The theme of our talk today will be on what is enlightenment. In fact, this is the only thing that one can't speak about as to what enlightenment is. Nevertheless, as far as the human mind is concerned, with the use of words and language, it is possible to indicate as to what it is and what it is not. Enlightenment means to get enlightened to the reality of existence, to the reality. To be awakened to the reality, which means that there is a reality to which all beings are slumbering. They are slumbering to that reality. They are not awake to it. So, the purpose of the human existence, of this life, is to get awakened to this reality. When this happens, it becomes a matter of immediate experience, which cannot be explained to any in words and language. But nevertheless, it is, because the reality is, and therefore one can experience. Now this should be noted very carefully. Unless you are the reality, you cannot experience it. Remember this very carefully. In order to experience it, you must be the reality. Fortunately, you are. Therefore, it can be experienced. There. Because you are it. You are it. But unfortunately, at the present moment, the human individual is unawake to it. Unawake to it. You are slumbering. You are slumbering and you are awake. Awake to what? Tell me. Awake to the world. And awake to your own mythical human self or human individuality. This is what you are awake to. So you are slumbering here in this world. So you've got to be woken up from this deep slumber. So that is why it is said. Now when a man goes to sleep, If you want to awaken, what do?
Set the alarm clock.
Yes.
Shake it.
Yes. If you want to awaken, call him by his name, isn't it? Just call him by his name. And lo and behold, he wakes up. He wakes up. So here also, the same thing will happen to you. When you are ready for enlightenment, to be awakened, when you are ready to be awakened, then you will be woken up from your deep slumber. By whom? Tell me. By whom? God at that time will wake you up. He will speak to you. In the beginning was the Word. The Word was with God. And the Word was God. And the Word, when you hear it, will make you God. The Word. So you have to be woken up. And God will wake you up at that time. By telling you who you are. By telling you who you are. So God becomes your guru in life. Remember this very carefully. God is your guru. God is your guide. And God will tell you everything. God will tell you everything. Have faith. Have faith. So therefore, you have to be woken up from this deep slumber. But the irony is, in order to be woken up, in order to be awakened, there is a preliminary first step. There's a preliminary first step. And that preliminary first step is you have to be awake to the reality. To be awake to the reality. Now you are dead to it. You are unaware of it. But as a first step, you have to become awake to it. Alive to it. Awake means to become alive to it. This we will go into it a little later. How to become awake to it. How to become awake to it. But since you are the reality, and which is the final end of all existence, of end of human existence, you have to first of all understand, or to somewhat, as to what it is. If that is the goal of your life, should you not have some understanding as to what the goal is? Should you? Should you not? You cannot blindly proceed, not knowing where you are going, isn't it? Huh? So the first thing is for you to clearly understand what the goal of life is. The goal of life is to experience the divine within you. The divine within you. That's the goal of life. Otherwise, if you don't understand what it is, you will get into wrong practices associated with wrong belief systems. Wrong belief systems, wrong practices, wrong forms of worship, wrong forms of worship. You'll be involved in all of those. So therefore, the first step is to acquire a clear understanding as to what this reality, which is said to be the divine, is. That's the first step. Because once that becomes clear in you, then you can set your vision towards it. You can set your vision towards it. But before that, it has to become clear. If you want to get to heaven bridge, you must know where it is. Otherwise, you'll end up somewhere else. So, this reality is popularly, in religious language, called as God. But this is one of the least understood words in the world, or misunderstood words in the world, God. As a result of it, there is a great deal of confusion, ignorance and misunderstanding, and lack of clarity as to what the path is, what the way is, because this has not been clearly discerned by the human race as to what it is and what the three-lettered word is and what it signifies and means. And the word God basically means I am. I am. Does anyone refute his existence? No. Everyone knows that I am, that I exist. I am, that I am. That divine, I am. That divine am I am. This understanding is the beginning of the living and the practice of true religion. Of true religion. This understanding. And based on this understanding, one has to now go about living one's life. In order to fortify this understanding and this awareness that I am that, the living of life is an exercise. The living of life that you're made to live here becomes an exercise which would help you to maintain this awareness that I am that I am that. So now, this reality in the Buddhist tradition has been indicated by the word nirvana. Nirvana is the word. In the Hindu tradition, in the Bhagavad Gita, it is mentioned with another positive word added to it. Brahma Nirvana. Though the word nirvana or nibbana is both a Sanskrit and a Pali word signifying the same thing, but the word nirvana, it stops with the word nirvana. Nirvana. While Brahma Nirvana gives it a little more positive content to the meaning. Brahma Nirvana. The person attains the state of Brahma Nirvana. So there are two words here now. One is the word nirvana, which means the lamp of your when you get enlightened, the lamp of your individual existence is blown off. Is blown off. You are like a candle flame, flickering. You know, a candle flame is flickering, especially if there is a wind or a breeze keeps on flickering with agitation. And you are this individual who is like a flickering flame, and this gets blown off. Your individuality is blown off. It's blown off, your individuality. It ceases to be, your individuality ceases to be. And then the next word, the next meaning for this word nirvana is, all your passions have cooled down, cooled down. And there is total peace within you, total peace within you, total. It is total peace, total calmness. It's very cooling. Nirvana is very cooling. Of course, after being burnt in the universe, you have got burnt in the universe, living in the world. It's very refreshing, very cooling. That experience of nirvana. But to this word, the Bhagavad Gita uses one more word as Brahma Nirvana. Brahman. Also the word has been used for this reality. For this reality. Now, in the Far Eastern tradition, the same word nirvana is used, referred to by the word, the state of Tao, T-A-O. Tao is pronounced as Tao, spelled as T-A-O, Tao. So that glory, that state is what transpires, which is said to be the God state. Said to be the God state. That is why Buddha not only stopped by saying that the individuality is blown off, is no more. In the Christian tradition too, it is said, Jesus says, when you lose yourself, you will find yourself. Find your true being. So you have to lose yourself. And spiritual life is a process of losing yourself. Losing yourself. One young man went to a Zen teacher for education. And he asked him, which is the quickest way? And the teacher said, get lost. My gosh. I went to him for instruction and he tells me, get lost. But the real meaning is, lose yourself. So, if you really understand the process, but the science of religion, because religion is a science. Remember this also. It is not something based on a funny belief system, superstitious. None of that. It is a clear science as to how to lose yourself. How to lose yourself. Isn't it wonderful? That it is a science that you can work out the process by which you could lose yourself. But tell me, when will you lose yourself? When will you lose yourself? Tell me.
When you die.
No, of course you have to die to yourself. But when will you lose yourself?
No.
When you're asleep.
Of course you lose yourself there, but you will lose yourself when you realize the need to lose yourself. See the whole thing. When you realize the need to lose yourself, then you will then you will begin losing yourself. But the need for it should be understood by you, should be clearly discerned by you. Then once you understand the need to lose yourself, then gradually over the process of living life, you will begin to lose yourself. So spiritual life is a process by which, over a period of time, you will learn, you will begin to lose yourself. The losing yourself. So it's a clean science as to how to lose yourself and what to lose. What to lose in yourself. What to lose in yourself. So that you will become nothing. But unfortunately, what are you now? Are you not a something? Unfortunately, you are a something. So you have got to understand this something. And once you have understood what this something is, then you will begin to lose yourself. You can initiate the process to lose yourself. So now, what is it that you long for with all your heart? With all your heart, what is it you long for? Tell me.
Happiness.
Of course, happiness is one thing, yes.
Self.
Hmm?
Your true self.
Yes, you long for your true self.
Connection to God.
Yes, you're longing for your connection with God.
Love.
Yes, love is a process by which you get connected with God. But more than everything,
To dissolve yourself.
yes, to dissolve yourself, all that is fine.
Peace of mind.
Peace of mind you will attain at that time. At that time, when you get enlightened, you attain total peace of mind.
Freedom.
You will be totally free. Free of what?
Self.
Free of something.
Self.
Desires.
Big self.
Ego.
Ego.
That's right. You will become free of the ego self. That's where freedom comes in. And total freedom will come in. You'll become free of your human individuality. You will become free of all of this. But there is something which you long for from the depths of your heart. What is that? What is that?
To know the purpose of life.
To
Know the purpose of life.
Yes, that will happen to you when you get enlightened. But within yourself right now, there is something.
Eternity.
Yes, you will become eternal because you know that you are mortal at the moment.
You want to know who you are.
Yes, because you don't know who you are at the moment. You're not sure who I am. And still you're going about living life.
Emptiness. Emptiness.
Empty of what?
Empty of self.
Yes, empty. When you become empty of this self, you will become full. You will become full. So now what you are really longing for is something. What you are really longing for is, let us try to understand the state of enlightenment from your human perspective. Now you are having a human perspective, a human individuality. From this human individuality of yours, let us try to understand what it is. And what is it that you really long for?
Bliss.
You may want God or may not want God, but there is something which you are longing for.
To be whole.
Right, to be whole. Why do you want to be whole? Because you're fragmented now. You're not fragmented. You're a fragmented being, fragmented by your feelings, emotions, everything put together. You're fragmented. So what is it that you really long for, which you have not been able to completely fathom?
Be connected.
Of course, all that is there, to be connected, all that is fair, but I want to know what your immediate human existence is. What is your immediate
The peace and joy of my divinity, my true divinity.
to? Repeat it again.
The divinity.
Yes, the divinity, but right now, from your human perspective, there is something missing in you, isn't it?
You're part of everything.
Yes, you are. There's something missing in you.
The joy
Don't
of
you feel incomplete?
Unity.
Huh? As a human individual, don't you feel incomplete in your human existence? Don't you feel that?
Yes.
You feel something missing, something wanting.
Yeah.
So what is it that you want really?
To be complete.
That's right, that's the correct word. To be self-complete. From the bottom of your heart, you really don't know, but you want to become self-complete. To become healed of all your psychological aberrations, and to become whole, and to become one, and to become self-complete, and to become perfect. Why? Because you know that you are inadequate and incomplete now. You want to become complete and perfect in your existence. And that state of experience is called as God realization. You know, in religious, they're talking a lot about God. So what it really means is, what is God? Means perfected existence. God means perfected existence. That's what it is. So religions have to be really retaught in the world as to what you are aspiring for, what God is. It is perfected existence. So when you become perfect, then what will you do after that? You are now perfect and self-complete. What will you do after that?
Be.
Exactly. Just be. Will you do anything? No. There's nothing to be done. You will just be. Just be. Shall we put it this way? You will R.I.P. rest in peace. That's what you will do at that point. So God is resting in peace. R.I.P. So that you don't have to put that slab in your grave, R.I.P. You are already in R.I.P. Rest in peace. This is called enlightenment. This is what it is. So you will do that when you attain to this perfected existence. So what you are longing for from the depths of from the bottom of your heart, which you are unable to discern, is to become self-complete, perfect and whole in your existence. And this is what is called as God realization or self-realization. Is it clear now? This is what you want. Now, once again, we are trying to understand what enlightenment is with reference to your existence, your human existence in the universe. I remember once, when I was young, more than 40, 50 years ago, my guru and I were seated on the banks of the river Ganges in the Himalayan mountain, in the Himalayas. We were seated on two rocks. Then he asked me, what is the definition for God? What is the definition for God? And of course I said many things. I already had a certain amount of scriptural education at that time, but I told him many things. Then he said, the definition is Sat Chit Anand. That is the definition. Sat means absolute existence. absolute existence, Sat. Chit is absolute knowledge come consciousness. Absolute knowledge. Sat Chit and consciousness. Sat Chit. Anand, absolute bliss. Absolute bliss. Now what are you having? What form of bliss do you have now? You're getting joys in the world. Don't you get joys? You get a little pleasures, a little happiness, but bliss, that's a different thing. So it's absolute unqualified bliss which wells up from within yourself. Your very existence is bliss, is of the nature of bliss. So therefore, that is the definition. Sat Chit Anand. So if anyone asks you what is the definition for God, this is the definition. Absolute existence. Sat. Chit. Absolute knowledge. That is why it is said God knows everything. So when it is said absolute Chit, Sat, absolute existence, you know, you have heard the expression God is perfect, isn't it? That's what it means. It is perfected existence. Perfected existence. And that is what you want, isn't it? And if you get that, you've got everything. If you don't get it, you've got nothing. You missed it. You missed it. So absolute existence. Sat. Chit. Chit is knowledge, absolute knowledge, plus consciousness, absolute consciousness. Absolute consciousness. Sat Chit. And Ananda is absolute bliss. Absolute bliss. This is what it is. So this is the definition for the divine, for God. And where is God? Within yourself. Within yourself. God exists within yourself. In yourself. Because the temple is here. You know, the temple of God is your body. This body of yours is a temple of God, in which the Lord is lodged within you. The Lord is lodged within you. So therefore, this is where the experience will take place within yourself, and absolute existence, total existence. This is the very nature of beingness, of the divine, perfected existence. Then, Sat Chit. Chit is, what is Chit?
Knowledge and consciousness.
Yes, it is knowledge and consciousness. Are you not ignorant now? And what are you looking for? What are you looking for? For knowledge. So therefore, total knowledge, by knowing which all that which has to be known is known. That's one of the things about the divine is, by knowing the divine, all that which has to be known is automatically known. That's why he said God knows everything. God knows everything. And you have got absolute knowledge there at that point. Absolute, total knowledge. Sat Chit. Then you have consciousness. Consciousness. Now this consciousness is something very relevant. Don't you have consciousness? You have consciousness now. And what type of consciousness do you have now?
Awareness.
Huh?
Awareness.
Yes, but in your consciousness there is an awareness. And what type of awareness do you have now?
It's limited.
Limited. Of course it is limited.
5 senses?
Yes, through the 5 senses. So haven't you got a consciousness in which there is duality? Huh? So in this human consciousness, there is a duality. The duality is I and you. I and the universe. If you are there, the universe is there. It's the counter opposite. It is the universe, the counter opposite of the I awareness. So the moment you have the I awareness, you have the universe awareness. So duality has come in there. Duality. Duality, isn't it? Now, in order to arrive at the divine, in the divine, there is no duality. I and you does not exist in divine's consciousness. Only the divine is. The duality disappears. The duality disappears. So if the duality disappears, how can you make? What are you to do now? What are you to do now? If the duality disappears, tell me, what are you to do now? Come on.
Just to be.
Of course, just to be. By being, what happens to you?
Come rest.
Of course you rest, but what happens?
You are.
Become one.
Huh?
Become one.
Yes.
You become
One
whole.
with whom?
We have
Come
to
home.
accept everyone.
Yes, you become one with.
God.
Yes, you become one with God, which is your true self. So, which is your true self. But it takes a little time. It takes a little process. There's a little process here involved. It doesn't happen like that immediately. You know, we have used the word awakened to the reality. Awakened, what is enlightenment? To get awakened to the reality. But in order, before you can get awakened to the reality, have you not to become awake? First of all, you've got to become awake. Then how do you become awake? How do you become awake?
You drop in the self.
Yes. Now, wait a minute.
You find out who you are.
Yes.
Hear your name.
You have,
We have to want it.
yes, all that is there. But in order to become awake to the divine within you, in order to become awake to the divine within you,
You have to want it.
yes, all that is there. But at the moment, what type of awareness are you having? Exactly. You are having an awareness of duality. So, don't you think that this awareness must be given up? Huh? This awareness of the duality, you must let go and maintain what? Come on. The school of philosophers. Come on, maintain. Come on, maintain.
Maintain your vigil.
Huh?
Maintain your vigil.
Yes, you maintain the vigil, but there is something you have missed the point. You see, the duality, awareness of the duality is taking place, but instead of that,
Oneness?
yes, you have to maintain the non-dual awareness. Non-dual awareness, remember that. Non-duality. Non-dual awareness is called as Advaita. Advaita, wherein there is no duality, non-dual awareness. This non-dual awareness, non-duality, has to be maintained and sustained by you consciously. It has to be sustained by you. Why? Because you have been having the duality, awareness of the duality. You open your eyes, there is duality. I and you, I and the universe, I and So you must now, instead of this awareness of the duality, you must have, the solution is,
You have to be aware of what you are not.
yes, the non-dual awareness. Non-dual awareness. You have to maintain the non-dual awareness. So in order to maintain the non-dual, how to maintain this non-dual awareness? How to maintain it?
Vigilance.
Yes, you have to be vigilant.
Find out what it is.
Yes, all that is there. The non-dual awareness. How to maintain that?
Keep a focus.
Be mentally still. Be mentally quiet. Be totally quiet. Be totally mentally still. Don't allow your mind to break out into thought patterns. Or visual images. Because the moment you have visual image, what has happened? Duality has arisen. The moment your mind breaks out into thought patterns, what happens? Duality transpires. So therefore, don't have any mental images. Don't permit the mind to break out into any thought patterns. Be totally mentally still. Be mentally still. This is Advaita. This is the practice and the living of true Advaita or true Vedanta. The practice and the living of this. Wherein you must maintain this awareness, the non-dual awareness. So when you are maintaining this non-dual awareness, what is happening to you? Haven't you heard that remarkable Christian expression? Into any form of notions, ideas, feelings, emotions, leave all of them alone. Leave all of them alone. Be undisturbed. When will you leave all of them alone? When will you be undisturbed by your emotions and your passions and your feelings? And your thoughts? When will you be?
When you just allow them to be.
Wait a minute. Yes. When
Fast asleep.
you are totally at peace with yourself. When you are totally at peace with yourself, then you will not be disturbed. You will not be disturbed by what? By your desires, by your feelings, by your emotions, because you are at peace with yourself. Aren't you? So, now what does the Sermon on the Mount tell you? Blessed are the peacemakers. Haven't you heard it? Huh? For they are the children of God. Huh? Blessed are the peacemakers. So you make peace with yourself. When you make peace with yourself, you remain undisturbed by all the feelings and the passions and the thought patterns and ideas and everything. You remain undisturbed by it. When you so remain undisturbed by it, then you have entered into the image of God which is created within you. Man was made in the image of God. Now you have got to sustain it. Sustain this. This is non-dual awareness. In this non-dual awareness, what are you doing? What are you doing now?
Being.
Yes. You are now awake, isn't it? You have become awake. You have become awake to your divine nature. You have become awake to it. And this is exactly what is maintained. When you maintain vigil, are you not alive there? when you maintain vigil, when the nuns in the convents and monks in monasteries, in the dead of night, when everything is quiet, because everything is quiet then. The world is quiet, silent. And you are also mentally silent and quiet. You are also quiet there, undisturbed by your own passions, undisturbed. You are quiet in the dead of night. In the dead of night. That's why they choose the dead of night, Right? So in this dead of night, you become totally quiet there. And you are maintaining a vigil, silent awareness. You are maintaining this silent awareness. You become awake to God. Were you not dead to God all these years? You tell me. Yes or no? Yes. Even that you are not sure. So here, you have to become awake to God. So this is how you become awake to God. By becoming alive to His presence. By becoming alive to His presence within yourself. Within yourself, you become alive to His presence. He's already there. The divine is already there. But all that you have to do is become alive to it. So, in the dead of night, you are alive to the presence of God within you. Or you want to do it in the daytime too, you can do it. It doesn't have to be the night time. So, you have become alive too. And now you are awake. And as you keep on maintaining this process of being awake over a period of time, when you are able to sustain it over a period of time, and that is what Ramana did do in his life. There was a famous saint of India in the last century. As a youth, he stumbled into himself. Having stumbled into himself, he got into a cave and became silently awake. Became silently awake to the inner reality within. Became alive to that. Alive. You become alive. Then what happens is, one fine day, God will wake you up there. The Word, He will tell you, my boy, get up, wake up. You are the divine. The God will speak to you at that point. And you will get awakened. You become the awakened. That's why the word awakened has been used. Who is the Buddha? They say Buddha is the awakened. Awakened, the one who has woken up to the reality. So this is the way. The way. So you've got to be awake in order to get awakened later. In order to get awakened subsequently. So that is why this word consciousness has been used there. In this consciousness, there is non-duality there. That's why he said God alone exists. Isn't it? So if God alone exists, can there be duality? No. If God alone exists, can there be the world? Yes or no? No, there cannot be the world. Can there be all other individuals in the world? What about all these characters?
No.
They're all apparitions, they all disappear. All these characters, who are these human characters, they are all apparitions, they all disappear as apparitions. Only God alone is. This is that non-dual awareness. Non-duality.
So there is no space around the God, just the God.
The space, where there was space, there God appears. Now you have got a critical point there. It's a critical point. When there is nothing, what is there?
Everything.
Wait a minute. When there is nothing, there is only space there, wasn't it? Huh? So when you close your eyes, there is only inward space there. There's only space there. No place. No place but space. So where this space was, or where this space is, there God appears. There the God experience transpires. It's filled with God's beingness. That space gets filled up with God's beingness. So such it. Then the third component of this is said to be Ananda. Ananda means bliss. It's bliss. Everyone is searching for bliss. But if you are bliss, you don't have to search for it. You are it. Now, how do you know that you are of the nature of bliss? How do you know? When you get to sleep, what happens to you? Two wonderful things happen to you. When you get to sleep, what is it?
You lose yourself.
Yes, you forget yourself. You totally forget yourself. Then, what is the next thing you forget? You lose the world. When you go to sleep, what a relief it is. It's a great relief that you have lost yourself in sleep. Because if you try to remember yourself, you can't go to sleep. So you consciously want to forget yourself, isn't it? Consciously. However troubled you are as a person, however disturbed you were a little before, but still you want to forget yourself. And you will forget yourself because you want to forget yourself, and therefore sleep overpowers you. Right? And then at the same time you want to forget the world too. You want to totally forget the world also. Now, when you forget the world, and in sleep you forget the world too, there is no world there. The objects of the world are not there, the things of the world are not there. Then where are you? When you wake up from sleep, what do you tell? What do you tell people when you wake up from sleep? Suppose you have had a good night's sleep of a few hours. Then when you wake up, what do you tell people?
You say that was lovely.
Huh?
That was lovely.
Yes, that's what you say. It is wonderful that you had a blissful sleep. You had a blissful sleep and you knew nothing. And you knew nothing. I did not know anything. And at the same time, I had a blissful sleep. Now, where did this bliss come from? Where did this come from?
There all the time.
Huh?
It's there all the time.
It's there all the time. It was there all the time. And you got in touch with it. When you got in touch with it, you obtained that bliss. So when you wake up, that memory is there. That memory is there that you had got in touch with it. You can't explain it. Can you explain it? No. All that you can say is, it was so glorious. Two friends met after their college days, after 20 years. So they were now discussing with each other as to what they had achieved in life. So one of the two friends said, well, I have now become a millionaire and made my money and everything. But I have a problem, he said. And that problem is that, he said he doesn't have sleep anymore in the night time. So that's a big problem. So now it was the turn of the other person to tell what he had achieved in life. So the other person turned around and said, you are a millionaire during the daytime, I am a millionaire during the night time. Because I have such a wonderful sleep in the night time, I'm a millionaire there. Which of the two millionaires would you like to be? Huh?
Second one.
Second one. You would like to be this millionaire. Because it You are reposing in your own true self. In your Atman, in your true self, you are reposing there. You are settled down there. And that is of the nature of bliss. So therefore, bliss is your intrinsic nature. It's your intrinsic nature. It is your natural character. So that is why the Guru had already realized. And soon after, the disciple got awakened to the reality. And they looked at each other and had a mighty dance. Because it was so wonderful. It was so wonderful. So therefore, this is the nature of enlightenment. So when you get enlightened, awakened, you get awakened to the reality of your own existence. So therefore, don't you think about who are the scriptures talking? Who is the subject matter of the scriptures? Tell me.
I.
Yes. You are the subject matter of the scriptures. You as the person. You are the subject matter. Why are you the subject matter of religion? Because it is you who have the problem. God doesn't have the problem. Right? So therefore, it is not God, it is you. So the scripture is dealing with you. That is why it is called as Atma Vidya. Atma Vidya in Vedanta means the knowledge of your true self. The knowledge of your true self. And the science behind it. The science behind it. And the way to attain to your true self is the theme of true religion. Of true religion. So therefore, first of all, you have to understand what the divine is, which is the goal of life. Understand its nature. Its nature is that it is non-dual awareness, in which duality doesn't exist, and you have to maintain this non-dual awareness. That is the key to the whole solution. The key to the whole solution is to maintain this non-dual awareness. When you are practically able to so maintain this non-dual awareness, when you are sustaining and maintaining the image of God which is already created within you, then you are become awake to the divine within you, and eventually one fine day you will get awakened. You will get awakened, and you become the awakened. So this is what transpires. Om Tat Sat.